Environment Canada confirms that a tornado touched down north of Toronto and caused significant damage. You're looking at images posted of the aftermath on Twitter. The tornado tore through a neighborhood in the city of Barrie shortly after Environment Canada issued a warning for the region. Police and first responders are now on the scene, and our CBC's Hilary Johnstone is on our breaking news desk. So Hilary, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, David, we know from police that several people have been injured after this apparent tornado touches down. So the latest thing that we've heard from Environment Canada is that after they've started to review some of this really incredible footage that has been posted on social media, some of those videos like the one you're looking at right now on your screen, some of these photographs, that they do believe that it was a tornado that touched down. This happened around 2:30 this afternoon, as you say, a short time after Environment Canada issued a tornado warning. Up until that point, it had been a tornado watch. Now, there is still severe weather that is moving through the area. There are still a number of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. Environment Canada asking people in the Peterborough region, for example, to take cover and to watch to see if the weather turns to anything like what we've seen in Barrie this afternoon. But there are also a lot of reports of downed trees, possibly of damaged gas lines as well. So that's the other thing that we're hearing out of Barrie right now. We've also heard from GO Train service saying that service is not surprisingly going to be disrupted in that Barrie area because of downed trees, downed power lines, all of that sort of thing. So police, paramedics, authorities really asking people in that Barrie area to be quite careful right now, because even if those severe storms have now passed through that area, there is still a lot of damage that has been left behind. But as we were saying there, David, at least several people injured, and some of the words that have been used to describe the damage that we're seeing in some of those Barrie neighborhoods, catastrophic. And you can tell from some of the video that we've seen of the tops of the roofs of some of those homes in that subdivision that appear that they were taken right off the homes.
Okay, Hilary, thank you so much. This is CBC's Hilary Johnstone here in Ottawa. And to talk more about what is happening on the ground in Barrie, we've reached John Brassard. He's the Conservative MP for Barrie-Innisfil. John Brassard, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm looking at that house behind you, sir. How common are images like that where you've been in Barrie?
Oh, it's quite common, David. It looks like the tornado took a swath, and you can actually see the path that it took. At least a kilometer in the area that I'm in right now. And the tornado actually started near my office, which is another kilometer that way. You can see the damage as we were coming up here, but the damage is at least a kilometer going towards the east. There's houses that have come off their foundation. Obviously, lots of roofs that have been blown off. There's a barbecue in the front yard over here. I've seen trampolines in people's pools, so the damage is quite devastating this afternoon.
You say it started near your office. Are you, your staff, your family, are everybody okay? Everyone belong to you? Are they all okay?
Yeah, everybody's fine, but we knew the storm was coming, and then we got an alert from Environment Canada or Emergency Operations Ontario on our phones, so you could actually see the storm coming. Now, we didn't see the tornado, but there's lots of reports of a wedge tornado that came across this area. It hit the area of Yonge and Mapleview and then went east towards Prince William Way. There's lots of emergency crews from all over central Ontario that are here, not just the Barrie Police. There's a Barrie fire truck that's coming up right now. EMS services from all over central Ontario as well. So you just have to excuse me. Obviously, you're going somewhere. We've got.
That's okay, John. That happens on live television in disaster zones all the time. So don't worry about that. Just keep going.
No worries, and we've got a lot of utility crews. We've had, obviously, David, gas lines. I have friends in the area. I was over to check in on them, and you could smell the gas in the backyard because the barbecue was ripped right from the gas line, so I turned it off for them. But gas crews are here, water crews are here. They're doing everything they can to shut things down, and right now, police are going door to door just to make sure that everybody is accounted for. They're putting markings on the doors to assure that those houses have been checked. But this is going to be a long operation because the damage is that extensive, David.
You say you were talking to some of your friends in the neighborhood, and of course you're the member of parliament, so you get to know people in your community when you're knocking on doors and doing community meetings. I mean, what are people saying to you about what's happened to their properties, what's happened to their homes?
Well, they're shocked. One of my friends who works for Metro Toronto Police, I called him right away. He was at work. He actually came home, but I'm standing 2 doors away from his house, and his roof is completely gone. So, I just got a call from my wife that one of my son's friend's house was damaged extensively. So I'm going to go over there next just to check in on him. But, there's a lot of shock in the area. But the emergency crews are here. They're doing the best they can, and they're really guiding the resources. I know the mayor is here. I talked to him. He's at Prince William and Mapleview. They've got a command center set up there. And, shortly after I arrived, one of my friends who's a city councilor here was coming out of one of the houses that was completely destroyed. She heard, Natalie Harris is her name, she heard the roar, and she and her son ran down to the basement, and the roof lifted off their house just moments after that. So as soon as I saw her, you can imagine how emotional she was, and we gave her a big hug. And so far we're hearing reports of minor injuries, nothing major, David. And if that continues to be the case, it's an absolute blessing that nobody was hurt, given the scope and scale of the damage that you can see behind me, and that extends at least a kilometer to the east.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your experience through the storm? I know you say you didn't see the tornado, but could you feel like the, air pressure, winds, all of that? I mean, what was the scene like where you were?
Yeah, well, I was actually just pulling in to my office, and of course you could see the dark clouds, and I was talking to a few people. I was actually under an overhang, and you could feel the temperature drop. And then it was shortly after that my phone rang. The emergency alert went off, saying that there was a tornado warning. And so, and then a couple of minutes later, I could hear the sirens, and I checked the local Barrie Fire dispatch app, and they were talking about building collapses. So I called the mayor right away, and I said, Jeff, I think a tornado just went through in the south end. And then as I pulled out of my office to come over here, you can actually see trees uprooted near my office, fences down. There was a building collapse under construction by the GO train station. And then, of course, as you came closer to this area, David, you could see the extent of the damage. And it's quite something. Of course, Barrie had a tornado in 1985 that went through. It was an F4. I'll be interested to see what Environment Canada calls this one at.
We had the sirens going and the trucks going through the background a little while ago, and I know it's the early hours of the response, but do you have a sense yet if Barrie has what it needs, if help is on the way from higher levels of government or neighboring municipalities? Do you know what kind of response is being mounted right now?
Well, the mayor is running the operation right now. I know that the city's emergency operations center has been activated. The chief administrative officer, Michael Prowse, is on that. When I left my office and it became pretty apparent that a tornado had gone through, I had my staff contact Minister Blair's office right away just to let him know that I think a tornado went through Barrie. We don't know what the extent of the damage is. But anything that the mayor needs, obviously, I'll stay on scene for as long as it takes. But ultimately, that's going to be his call as to what level of resources we need from higher levels of government. But right now, it's really a local operation with all of the emergency services, and the city crews are doing everything they can to make sure that everyone's okay, and that our water and gas are taken care of as well.
And John, what do you think you're going to be doing now? Are you just going to act as a liaison with other levels of government? Is there a role for you there that you can play as an MP? I mean, you seem to know everybody in the neighborhood based on the stories you've told us, but what can you do in an official capacity now?
Well, first and foremost, I'm just checking in on my friends. I got a lot of friends in this area, David, so making sure that they're okay. But, whatever the mayor needs, he knows we've got a great relationship. Whatever he needs, I'm here for him. I told him that. And, at the end of the day, this is about what we can do as a community to get through this and help those people who are significantly affected by this, David, to get through this as well.
All right. Well, John, thanks for talking to us. Good luck and stay safe. I mean, water and wires and all these things, even with the tornado gone, there's still lots of risks. So thanks for the time and take care of yourself.
Thanks, David.